Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Godzilla vs. Kong came out yesterday, so today I'm going to stop and rank every single Monsterverse movie from the worst to the best. The Monsterverse is a franchise for people that just love watching monsters beat the crap out of each other and just not care about anything. They're dumb movies, but they're a lot of fun. Me personally, I really enjoy those kinds of movies. It's just a lot of fun to watch monsters beat each other. And I just want to say, I'm a big fan of all of these movies. I don't love them, I just really enjoy them. They're a lot of fun to watch. So be sure to tell me down below in the comments how you guys would rank these movies. Obviously, we're going to have different lists. This is just my opinion. So with that said, let's get started with my number 4. So coming in at last place is going to be Godzilla King of the Monsters. Now, I know a lot of people really love this movie. I do too. I don't hate it. I really have fun with all of these movies, like I said. But out of all 4 of these, this is the one that I think is the weakest. This one has probably the most monster mayhem and destruction, but I don't think the action itself is as good. The action is shot like very close to the monsters or from a human's perspective, so you can't really see everything that's going on, so you don't understand what the monsters are doing all the time. But there are exceptions to that. There's a lot of fights in the final battle, and there's a fight with the fire dragon thing. Those are actually really good fights because you could see what's going on there. But there's a lot of fights that you can't see what's going on. Those really kind of hold this one back for me. And there's a whole plot line going on with the characters, and none of the characters are interesting. I think all of them are pretty weak. There's some pretty good performances, but as a whole, the characters just fall flat for me in almost all of these movies, but this one maybe the most. This one learned from the first Godzilla movie because a lot of people complained that that movie didn't have enough Godzilla, and this one puts Godzilla and a bunch of other monsters on the forefront, so there's a lot of monster destruction going on, which is a lot of fun. But like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of some of the action sequences, and I don't love the characters. That's what holds this movie back. Kicking off my top 3 is Kong Skull Island. Now, when I watch this movie, like when the action sequences and the fights are happening, whenever there's monsters on screen, I feel like this movie is probably at its best. I actually considered putting it at number 1 or number 2 when watching the action sequences, but when you actually look at like some of the characters, some of the themes it explores, I don't think it does the greatest job of that. But really, it gives me great monster stuff. Like when you see Kong fighting other people, it's shot in a way where you could see everything, unlike Godzilla King of the Monsters. It's choreographed really well. The monsters actually feel scary. They feel like they're huge. The action is shot really well. But when you actually get down to the characters, because this movie focuses more on characters than it does action, and that kind of holds it back. When you look at the characters, none of them are interesting. This probably has the worst characters of all of these movies. And they kind of try to explore themes about war, how war's not good, but I don't think it works because a lot of characters die, but they don't treat it very well in the movie, in my opinion. But to be completely honest, the monster action and stuff is really good. The runner-up is going to be Godzilla 2014. Now, I know a lot of people say that this is the worst or next to the worst. I don't think so. I think this is better than Kong Skull Island, in my opinion. Now, the movie just has a great aesthetic right off the bat. The cinematography is great. Visually, the movie is beautiful. And especially that one scene where we have our military army guys jumping out of the plane, and then we have that red smoke thing. It's all pretty cool. It looks visually great, and then we see Godzilla from their perspective. All of it looks really cool. In my opinion, I actually really cared about 2 of the characters in this movie. Bryan Cranston's character is really good. Elizabeth Olsen's character is really good. The rest of them, they're fine. They're just there because they need to be to move the story forward. But those 2 I really cared about. But when it comes down to the monster action, there is a lot of monster destruction going on in the movie. We just don't see Godzilla until the end, which is why it's not at number 1 probably. But it does do a great job of building up that reveal of Godzilla, and when he finally shows up at the end and he actually starts fighting, it pays off really well, and I just love that gigantic boss fight at the end. People complain that it takes place in the dark, so you can't really see stuff. Now that really depends on what type of screen you're watching it on, the brightness of your device. But yeah, I really like this movie. I think it's great, and I have a lot of fun while watching it. But coming in at first place is Godzilla vs. Kong. Out of all of these movies, this is the dumbest movie. It doesn't take itself seriously, doesn't give you explanations for a lot of stuff, but it still works because all it's supposed to do is give you gigantic monster battles, and it succeeds at doing that. Now, to be completely honest, this is mostly Kong's movie because he's kind of like put at the forefront. We have Godzilla, but he just shows up for fights and at the end for a long time. But Kong is the one that we see more as a character because we have the girl that could communicate with him. His relationship with her is really strong, and I really like that about it. And that little girl, she's a pretty good character. I really enjoyed her in the movie, and just the relationship between them is built up pretty well. Now, the movie, again, like I said, doesn't give you explanation for anything, so you have a lot of questions by the end, but it just doesn't matter. For example, what were the humans using to sedate Kong, and why didn't they use that on Godzilla? How is there light in the hollow earth when it clearly exists underground? How did Kong go from the center of the earth all the way up to Hong Kong, which is like 2,000 miles, in the span of 2 minutes? So there's a lot of unanswered questions, but it doesn't matter because that's not what you're looking for. You're looking for gigantic monster battles, and then you see Kong punch Godzilla in the face and Godzilla shoot atomic breath at Kong, and it's a lot of fun to watch. This is everything I want in a monster movie, so it comes in at number 1. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Be sure to tell me down below in the comments how you guys would rank all of these movies. This is just my opinion. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel for more content like this, and I'll see you next time. Bye.